Good morning. Welcome in. It is Wednesday, July 15th. We are 90 days out from October 13th. Your DTD2 this week. You're calling your B's and your E's and you're texting your S's at the top of the banner because we are done talking. We're not done talking, but like we had our moment with the DocuSigns. That ship has sailed. We are on to Lone Wolf and all the announcements about that. Like, obviously, you're folding in now. You're getting it done. The emergency broadcast system on all of that is over. So you'll notice that at the top of our Facebook page, you'll notice that the banner on the morning news, you'll notice there's also a banner that is on the hub, KWCLMhub.com, where you find all things fantastic about KWCLM. We have the rally for Shannon, our dear friend, Shannon Whaley. Has a medical procedure coming up. She's got some challenges with her lungs, and she's going to be having surgery for that. I'm sure you have heard about it. If you haven't, that's what's going on. So we want to rally around her because obviously her being healthy is paramount. Above and beyond that, her stepping away from her business a little bit will cause a little bit of a gap, and we want to support her in that. So you'll notice on all of these banners, there is a QR code for the Venmo in which we are, as a market center, making sure that we step up and do our very best to support her through this time until she gets air back in her lungs and back on her feet and back to work. She will be working up until she does have the procedure. And she, of course, is, grateful for everything that's happened thus far. But we've got a road ahead and we've got healing to do. So in order to take care of Shannon the way she's taken care of so many of us, like if you are an agent at 463, you either took your class with Shannon or you have taken many classes with Shannon, even just regular classes, or you took CEUs to renew the license with Shannon. Shannon Whaley has had her fingerprint on this market center for years. And we want to make sure that we show her how much we care about how much she's cared. So the banner is everywhere. You're going to see it hanging around the building. You're going to see it in emails. You can see it in the morning news. You can see it at the top of the Facebook page, and you can see it also on the morning, on the KWCLMhub.com. So wherever you are, and whatever you can do to help, we appreciate it. The Venmo QR code is there, and it's all going to support Shannon and everything she needs to get from where we are today to where she'll be back in the classroom, happy and healthy. So for everything that Shannon Whaley has done for us, we want to make sure that we show her our appreciation and our care. And no amount is too small. So please, if you can be involved, we ask you to be involved. And we will keep you up to date. Shannon will keep you up to date. She is a trooper. She's always been a trooper. And we just want to make sure she knows the love and support of this market center is behind her all the way. So that's what that is all about. If you haven't heard, that is what's going on with Shannon right now. So the schedule for today, we are Wednesday. It is contracts. We are 9 o'clock. You can go into lead generation at the Breakthrough Club. KWBreakthroughClub.com. The Zoom link is right there. You can go in and do your lead gen. Although if you are licensed in Massachusetts at 9 o'clock, Maine at 10 o'clock, or New Hampshire at 11 o'clock, you would want to jump in and go to your contracts class. These are the classes that are so important to be a part of on a weekly basis. And here's the thing. Are the contracts changing constantly? No. Is the conversation around the contracts changing daily? Yes. Right? And understanding how to have the conversations to explain these contracts to your consumers and your clients so they understand. They're not in this all the time. We are. So your understanding of these contracts and understanding how to fill them out, understanding how to explain them. And you'll be doing that. I promise you this. We're different. We're not better. God, we're close though. We're just different than other brokerages. We're different than other market centers. If we're going to be honest, the amount of offices, just real estate offices nationwide, that probably don't have weekly contracts, you'd be staggered. if you understood how many offices don't do contracts on a weekly basis. And I know it sort of feels like, oh God, we get contracts again. Contracts Wednesday. Like, yeah, it's there. And it's there every Wednesday. Yes. And we do that for a myriad of reasons. First and foremost, we know that you're not going to make it every Wednesday because things come up. And Said with Love is your friend and your coach. If you're telling me what came up this Wednesday is you didn't feel like contracts, Said with Love. Write this down. It'll be on the quiz later. Grow up. We are here doing this thing, this practice of real estate. I know there's pieces of this that are jobby job. I know the lead gen is jobby job. But us filling out the contracts that we are entrusted with by the governors of the states in which we serve to explain them to the consumers and our clients. Everything about that contract is to protect the consumer. And if we can't intimate that to the people that we want to serve, then we're doing them wrong. So missing contracts, and the reason we have contracts on a weekly basis is because life will get in the way. If you've been avoiding contracts and not missing contracts, that's where I want to challenge you to be different and just make it part of your week. Understanding how to explain this to somebody with the paperwork upside down and the lights off and your eyes closed. That should be where we are. And I say that sometimes because way back in the day, you'd go in and you'd have one contract and you'd be looking at it and you'd have to turn it and show it to them. And you didn't have a second copy, or you weren't on a Zoom sharing a copy, looking at a screen together. So when you hear us say, can you explain this upside down with the lights off and your eyes closed? That's what we mean. And I know who this market center is. This is the market center that does know their stuff. This is a market center full of market leaders. I say all the time that we'll be explaining this to our consumers and our clients, but we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, you're going to be explaining this to other brokers. Promise you that. Because at their office, they don't do contracts. Oh, we did it back in the 60s once. God, boring. And I know somebody in our ecosystem. I know in the last 12 months, somebody in our ecosystem has gotten a scanned copy. Breathe with me. A scanned copy of a purchase and sale that is out of date. Like you scroll down to the bottom and it says 1972. It was filled out with an eagle's quill. They're out there. They're doing, but why they're doing business, I don't know. They're doing business. They're licensed. God help us. They're licensed. And they need our help. It's incumbent upon the agents at this market center. It's incumbent upon you to be a market leader. And that's why we don't have the luxury of I don't feel like contracts this week. And yes, you're only responsible for your client, but I've said this a million times, and I want this to be who we are as a market center. As soon as you and your client agree with them and their client, and I would love, hi, Gary, I would love for Gary to change this. I know it's Y4C2Ts and it's 2 Ws, right? Win-win. I think it should be 4 wins. I think everyone should win. And I think that mentality of the 4 wins is you are now working in concert. There's a new team that's formed when you go under contract with a purchase and sale. You shouldn't be fighting with the other agent. You should be working with them to make sure everyone feels like they won. And we'll do that when we understand these contracts. We understand that we're working together to expand the opportunity of real estate for all of the consumers, for all of the clients. That is our job in this career of ours. If I can help with those deep thoughts, let me know. It is 603-834-2856. You can also book my face at meetwithcoach.com. I'll see you soon.